Good afternoon, ma. I'm Victoria. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. I'm Mujiba Talagoke. I'm a trainer, leather bag training, and I work at the tech factory. So I train students on how to make leather bags, tote bag, fashion bag, bracelet, and the likes.
Okay. Ma, please, can you briefly introduce your skill and its word and real world application?
Leather bag making is actually a sustainable development skill in the sense that we make use of animal skins, and plant-based products to make bags. So we make use of things that are from animal hides, that are from plants, mangoes, and orange peels. We then convert them into leather, and those leathers are what you use in making shoes, belts, bags, and anything that has to do with leather production. So, in a general time, this kind of production is something that we can export out of Nigeria, and it can be an aid to export and import currency.
Wow, that's very nice. Okay, why do you believe this skill is important for undergraduate students like us?
It's actually something I feel we bridge an academia and industry challenge. Most students actually go to school most just to read and pass and get their certificates. But there are skills that you need to have that contribute to worldwide development. If you happen to learn a skill that does not just deal with sales, but also deals in development of the nation, I feel like this is something that undergraduates should be more interested in. So it's bridge academy and industry linkage, the gaps between the academic and industry. That's what leather bag making does.
Okay. So I've seen your works from your shops and they are very, very, very good. So how long does it take a beginner to become very good like you, like a professional?
Bag making takes for beginners within 2 months you'll be able to go to the intermediate level. But for you to go from intermediate to the advanced level, you need at least 4 months to fully learn the skill from pattern drafting, construction, cutting, sewing, and finishing of bags. So 4 months is okay for a student.
Okay. So what are the materials, tools, or equipment for a beginner to start with?
Just the basic scissors, a normal blackhead machine, tape rule, and then leathers. Leathers is like the most essential materials that you need. So after leathers, you just get your scissors, tape rule, you get your drafting papers, and then you get the leathers.
Yeah, okay. So can this skill be learned online or it has to be physical?
I advise online learning for people that have the basic knowledge. But if you don't have basic knowledge of sewing or the basic knowledge of cutting of materials, I won't advise online learning. So you can only learn online when you have the basic knowledge of sewing. If you can sew, you'll be able to cut and do other things that has to do with leather. But if you're someone that does not have any prerequisite knowledge in learning, I mean in sewing at all, physical hands-on learning is required.
Okay. So what are the common challenges beginners face when learning these skills?
It's technically the sewing part. The cutting, drafting, gumming and other construction of bag is not quite difficult as the sewing, because one thing about bag making is finishing. If you cannot sew perfectly with your needle for it to give exactly the look of an industrial bag, then you're going to have problem. So the textures of leather is different from that of clothes. You have to be able to move a leather on a machine, so that's the problem.
So how do you help them overcome these challenges, these problems?
Consistent practicing, I think that's the basics in everything. If you're consistent with it, you just have to, you'll be good in it. So if you keep pedaling a machine with a leather for like 2 weeks, you become good at sewing a straight line on a leather.
Okay. From your experience, I can tell you're a professional. So what separates an average learner from a professional? Like from an exceptional one? Like what separates them?
Creativity. A learner that is not creative, if you're a beginner and you are creative, you can easily grab the learning of bag making and shoe making. But if you're a beginner and you're not being creative in what you're learning, you find yourself just knowing what you have been taught. So being creative is a very important thing when it comes to productions and letters.
Okay. So what are like the startup costs for monetizing this skill?
From the machineries that you'll be needing, the basic machineries you'll be needing to the leathers, and just maybe a small space, even if it is in your room, you need at least 150 to 200,000 just for a beginner of one machine and just the leathers and the equipment. 200,000 naira will do it.
Ma, how profitable is this skill in general? Like
It
how
is
profitable?
it is very very profitable. It has high income, as more to the fact that you are the one producing your work. You're the one that give your price on it. So the price you are putting on your bag is not really much about what you use in making the bag, but much about the creativities and the time you put in making that bag. So it is very very creative. Once you know that you are putting, it's very very lucrative. Once you know that you are putting in your creativity, you can place your price tags on it.
Okay. So ma, what are the top industries where this skill is in high demand
Industries in Nigeria or all over the world.
in Nigeria?
Mm, we have that in we have lack of industries when it comes to that in Nigeria. We have like just two ways that deals with leather production in Nigeria. But when it comes to people that produce bags, they are much. So we have brands that are leading and they are taking their work outside. We have like Zashadu, we have the Femi handbags, we have the Winston Leather. Winston Leather produces leathers himself and he also make leather products. So those are the three brands I can recommend in Nigeria.
Are there opportunities for students to work like internationally or like to freelance?
Yes, there is. There are opportunities for them to do any of the two.
So what platforms are best for showcasing these skills?
Fashion runway, all these runways. That's if you're into creative production of bag making. The best place you can go where you can meet international people that can promote and love and encourage what you're doing is just to be in the global world of the fashion runaway. I mean runway.
So what additional courses or related skills can complement this one?
Belts making, shoe making, and then furniture. Furniture in the sense of those that are making chairs, tables. That's the interior decoration aspects of leather skills.
Okay, ma, what mistakes do students make when they are trying to like monetize this skill?
Underpricing. Underpricing, just putting your price based on how much materials you get or the cost of your material instead of them looking at the time they put into their work and also the creativity they indulge in that work. So underpricing is a problem among students.
Ma, what's the maximum income potential for someone who becomes highly skilled?
In a year, you can have an income revenue of over 200 million naira if you're making your work. 200 million naira in a year. Yes, I have brands that just for one piece that he is selling, he sells just one piece like 3 hem, 4 hem, one piece. So now imagine he has 30-piece orders in a month. Now, how much will he have in a year? So that means that people that are highly skilled in this industries. I have there's a brand called Zashadu. She sells one by 5.2 hem. So imagine she's selling her 50 product of that. It's high income. So 200 hem is okay.
Okay. How can a student bring and build a strong portfolio, like a proof of competence with this skill?
Learning, consistent learning. You keep upgrading the skill you have, and then visibility among the media. Like media visibility is very very important because that's the best platform you can have for you to grow.
Okay. Ma, what advice do you want to give students that wants to go from like small scale to like major projects?
If you want to go from small scale to major projects, I would advise you work on your high-end crafts and your finishing because bag making is all about how good the finishing is. As I'm looking at it, is there any error, flaws, faults in the bag? As long as there is none of that, you can sell your bags at any price. So if you want to go to a high scale, once you're working on your visibility, also work on how good your products are.
Okay. Ma, what would a simple financial projection look like for a student running with like a small business with this skill?
I don't understand.
Like, how would like for a student running like a small for a small skill a business and wants to add this skill with it, how will it look like financially?
Financially, it can be just for a small scale business.
Yes.
It's something you can scale through if it's just for a small scale. It's when you want to go over the large scale that it becomes really taxing for you to go from just being small to being over the scale. So financially, it's not a constraint. It's something you can always work around within yourself.
Ma, how can students continuously improve and stay updated in this field?
Social media. Just learn what other brands are doing. Not you photocopying or anything, but just try to stay in touch, be in trend with what are in demand in the market, so that you'll be able to know how to create your creativity in that aspect. That way, you'll be able to sell.
Ma, what final advice will you give undergraduate students about learning and monetizing this skill?
Time. Undergraduate students, this kind of skill is something that takes a lot of time and dedication. So, if you really want to learn this skill, you have to work on your time management because it will take you twice as much time to work on this skill, to learn it, to even start making sale on it than for you to even study. So just time management and skills.
Okay. Ma, what should students do immediately after completing your training to start earning?
What should they do? I feel like before he or she can say she wants to start up immediately, the first thing I would advise the student to do is to work on his or herself. How good are you in the skill you are doing? And then before you can start selling, try and get yourself involved in a trial and error stage. Keep trying, then keep making error. Keep trying. The errors you make, you can sell out some. You get customer that